heart of winter on January 15, 2009, LaGuardia Airport bustled like any other day. Passengers wheeled their bags through glass doors, clutching coffee, tickets, and dreams. Among them, families, business travelers, and solo adventurers. None knew their journey would soon make history. U.S. Airways Flight 1549 and Airbus A320 stood gleaming on the runway. 150 passengers, 5 crew, 1 routine flight to Charlotte. Captain Chesley Sully Sullenberger, known for precision and calm under pressure, performed final checks in the cockpit. Co-pilot Jeff Skiles beside him, equally focused. Cabin ready. The crew's voices were confident. The door closed with a final click. Engines roared to life. The aircraft rolled forward. Inside, passengers smiled, buckled up. A mother distracted her child with a toy. A businessman checked his watch. Soft chatter filled the cabin. Outside, the runway stretched ahead, framed by icy wind and distant skyline. Liftoff. The plane soared into the gray New York sky. Buildings shrank beneath as they crossed over the Bronx, then the Harlem River. Everything felt smooth, calm, routine, until the 90-second mark. A dark blur appeared in the sky. A flock of Canada geese, massive birds, collided head-on with the aircraft. Thud, thud, silence, then chaos. Both engines failed instantly. A sickening jolt. The aircraft began to glide, eerily quiet. Inside the cockpit, red warnings flashed. Above New York City, silence has replaced the roar. The twin-engine Airbus glides at just a few thousand feet, an ominous calm after the thunderous bird strike. In the cockpit, First Officer Skiles scans the darkened instrument panels, while Captain Sullenberger grips the controls with iron focus. Sweat beads on his forehead as he and Skiles race through each emergency checklist, trying desperately to restart the dead engines. Outside the windows, the lights of Manhattan shimmer on the icy Hudson River below. Sullenberger flips on the radio. "Hit birds, lost both engines. Returning to LaGuardia," he announces. For a moment, he waits. ATC responds with a heading for an immediate turn, any runway in sight. Skiles calls for checklists. They race through each item as the Airbus continues its eerie glide. The needles refuse to move. At 3,000 feet, the answer is clear. No runway is within reach. He then asks about nearby Teterboro Airport in New Jersey. ATC clears them for approach, but Sullenberger quickly replies, "We can't do it. We're going down in the Hudson." There is no more time to lose. In the cabin, a tense hush falls like held breath. A young child whimpers softly while a mother strokes her child's hair. A businessman straps in with trembling hands. Flight attendants hurry down the aisle, commanding everyone into the brace position with firm urgency. Fear and adrenaline ripple through the passengers like electricity. One woman closes her eyes and prays. A young man whispers a desperate farewell. Steely nerves and last-minute prayers mingle in the air. All know this is no routine landing. Captain Sullenberger has made the only call left. "Brace for impact," he orders over the radio, and releases the flaps for an extreme approach. The Airbus banks gently south toward open water. Below the windshield, a final gamble awaits. The cold black river miles below. A haunting stillness falls over the cabin. Then, without warning, the nose drops and the fuselage slams into the icy water. A deafening roar of rushing water and tearing metal. Then miraculous stillness. Every passenger hurtles forward, then stops as the jetliner skims across the Hudson. Wing flaps tear away as inflatable life rafts hiss to life along the fuselage. Rescue boats in red and yellow converge from every direction. Through the cockpit window, Sullenberger watches crews forming a human chain of rescue. "It's quiet now," he finally breathes. All around him, passengers spill out onto wings and rafts into the dark, cold river. Stunned and suddenly safe. Time, which had slowed to an agonizing crawl, surges forward again. Word by word, the world will call it the miracle on the Hudson. On the icy river, the pilot who refused to panic sits among his passengers, offering reassuring nods and even a rare smile. Under the gray Manhattan sky, 155 souls huddle in inflatable rafts, alive. Against all odds, the impossible has been done. In the silence after the chaos, triumph reigns. Inside the cabin, silence turns to whispers, then to panic. Passengers grip their seats, eyes wide with terror, as the realization sinks in. Both engines are dead. The aircraft is gliding, helpless, vulnerable. Outside the window, the skyline races past, and below, only the icy Hudson. In the cockpit, Captain Sully's hands remain steady. "Brace for impact," he announces. Flight attendants shout the command, "Heads down, stay down." Their voices trembling but firm. Time slows. People pray, cry, hold hands, and then the water. The plane hits the river with a bone-rattling crash. Spray erupts around the fuselage. For a breathless moment, stillness, then chaos. Cold water rushes in, oxygen masks dangle. Panic screams through the aisles. Sully's voice echoes, "Evacuate!" Passengers scramble to the exits. Life vests inflate, emergency slides deploy as rafts. Crew members assist the elderly, children, anyone who stumbles. From above, helicopters whirl. Rescue boats cut through the icy current. First responders race across the water, fighting the current and freezing wind. They arrive within minutes, heroes in motion. One by one, soaked and shivering passengers are pulled from the wings and rafts. Some cling to the fuselage, others sob in relief, but all are alive. Captain Sully walks the cabin one last time, making sure no one is left behind. He is the last to leave the aircraft, stepping into the freezing Hudson not as a pilot, but as a legend. Cameras flash, news spreads like wildfire. Miracle on the Hudson. 155 souls, saved by quick thinking, courage, and calm. No fatalities, just pure human triumph. And as the sun begins to set, painting the New York sky with orange and gold, a new chapter is written, not just in aviation history, but in the hearts of everyone who watched and survived. A moment frozen in time, a reminder that even in the face of impossible odds, heroes rise. Because sometimes real miracles don't come from the sky, they come from the strength, courage, and choices we make in our darkest hour.